Good morning, everyone. This is David Blair, the Crosshairs trader. I trust that everyone had a wonderful evening, and I trust that everyone will have a wonderful day today, both in and outside the charts. The markets have done exactly what we Crosshairs traders have been hoping it would do, which is to consolidate after a nice strong move. I do want you to notice that the market is pretty much trying to mirror exactly what it did back in the spring rally. Back in the March up to May rally that we had a nice move. Started down here at our lows and moved up for 3 months. And we did have some areas where we had a little bit of consolidation and just continued to go up. Well, what's going on right now, and that's history, of course. We always look at what's going on right now, is, again, we've had a move off of these lows. We've had some pullback here, although I'd like to see more, but the market's not necessarily going to do what I want it to do. It's going to do what it wants to do. But we've had some consolidation in here. This is a line that I've drawn. Let's call it the line in the sand. See if we can break through that, and then we could possibly head up to some other areas of resistance. So that's what we're watching. Continue to watch. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, same thing. Back in the spring, we had a nice, beautiful vertical move. And it was actually after a head and shoulders that everyone was looking at, thinking the market was going to crash. Let me give you a little lesson right here. When everybody's looking at the same thing, it's usually not going to happen. Okay? Or at least it's not going to play out as everyone expects. That's because the market works against basic human nature. And that's why so many amateur traders lose money, because they think everything's got to be so obvious. They trade it and feel like that it has to work. Therefore, they're willing to hold on to their losers as long as they possibly can. Well, the market has a tendency to confound those who believe they have so much wisdom based on their human nature. The market does not trade off human nature. It trades the way it wants to, and it trades in a way that it will punish the most people who have absolutely no discipline. Okay, right now, the market is doing somewhat what it did back here. And here is where the market confounded the wise and those who trade off human nature and off human emotion that will kill you in the market. Back in, if you remember with me, back here, we had what was called a death cross in the market. Several of our indices, our futures, had the 50 cross below the 200. If you'll read back in my blog post, I talked about the death cross, 2 of them. But one that we talked about that no one was watching, because everybody was watching this, all the amateurs, all the people on CNBC, everybody was watching the death cross. It was going to go down. What they didn't realize was on the NASDAQ weekly charts, and us Crosshairs traders knew this, on the NASDAQ weekly charts, we actually had a golden cross right here. So while everybody was watching that, us Crosshairs traders knew that it could be a potential for a move up based on the weekly chart. So we're always prepared, because trading is war. We must prepare our weapons. So right now, we've got the golden cross on the daily NASDAQ. The way I trade these crosses is when they cross, I always wait for further confirmation. I do not buy right then. I'm not going to trade based on emotion and human nature that says things have to be easy for them to work. Folks, You've got to develop the patience to wait. So right now, all of us are watching the consolidation. If it can continue to consolidate or push higher, then we know where the next level of resistance is. I would still like to see a little more consolidation, but again, I may not get it. Look at the Dow right quick, and then we'll move to a couple of individual stocks. Same thing's going on with the Dow. You know, you're going to start hearing a lot of this golden cross stuff. Everybody's forgotten about the death cross back here that didn't work. Now they're going to start focusing on the golden cross that's supposed to work. But we're at a level of resistance. This is our 200 from our weekly chart that I have superimposed on my daily chart. We also have some price resistance. Again, would like to see the consolidation before we roar higher. It's just going to depend on what the market participants want to do. It's not going to have anything to do with this right here. In fact, we may do the opposite of that for a while. So we've got to be prepared and ready for either alternative. That's what I'm watching on the major indices. And the futures, we're at an area that could give us some indication of where this market's going to go the next few weeks to months. A couple of individual stocks to keep in mind that's playing right along with what's going on in the futures is CHKP. Checkpoint Software. I want you to notice as Crosshairs traders have been following this for a couple of months. We had a couple of Crosshairs, didn't trade them because of resistance. Major resistance around the 36 area. So when this crosshair fired, a bullish crosshair, we did not get excited about it because it wasn't a big enough move. You're only looking about an 80-cent move. We look for multiple dollar moves. Same here. Well, now look at what's happened. We've had a crosshair fire. However, in difference to what's happened back here is we've broken through some resistance. Now we're going to wait, see if it can consolidate a little bit, maybe pull back and confirm that, give us some rest, and then continue up. And CHKP, if the market decides to rally and go up, CHKP will be a good one as well. We talked about IBM yesterday, so we'll stick with our tech stocks for a minute. I got one more up trade possibility, and then we're going to look at a down trade. I mentioned IBM. IBM's doing exactly what we want it to do now that it's broken through this resistance area. And now it's become support. It's broken its pattern. Now we're looking for it to go sideways and then an end of the year rally, if so indeed the market decides to do that. Amazon. Amazon gave us a crosshair back at the beginning of September, broke out of a little base here. Moving averages weren't exactly lined up the way we want them to. Now they're lined up, so we're looking at Amazon consolidating above an area of strong resistance that has now possibly become support. If Amazon can stay in here, build some more consolidation as it did back here, again, it's just like CHKP, IBM, Amazon could have a nice run. Lastly, PRU is our downside potential play. You can see PRU has had the death cross, but we do not trade it until it is confirmed, and you can see that it came right back up. We do not trade that mess. We wait for confirmation. We let the stock market and the stocks tell us what they're going to do. So this has come back, confounded all the wise amateur traders, because you know they're wise in amateur's ways. It's come back, and now we're looking at it to possibly move back down to some support areas, just like those up trades are breaking out over some resistance areas or up to resistance areas. We're waiting on those to break out. If the market decides to go down, if PRU decides to go down, we will have a down trade, and we're ready for either one that presents itself, either up or down. Hey, join me sometime in my weekly hour-long webinars is for members only. Let me know if you're interested in that. David at thecrosshairstrader.com. Be glad to have you join my blog and take advantage of the things that I have to offer at my site. Would love to have you. You to go make it a great day. Enjoy this day, both inside and outside the charts. Thank you.